Hey, neighbor.
Whoa!
The show.
Gracie, what the
A
heck?
secret from the past, a bond tested by time, and a moment that changes everything. Heartland Season 19, Episode 3 reminds us that healing isn't a straight path. It's full of setbacks, hope, and tough love. In this episode, every character faces a choice that could either mend what's broken or tear it apart forever. Episode 3 opens with the calm beauty of the Heartland Ranch, golden light spilling over the fields, horses grazing peacefully, and yet there's a heaviness in the air. Amy Fleming is out early, brushing her horse, but her eyes say more than words ever could. She's trying to stay strong, trying to hold on to her purpose, but something inside her feels unsettled. Ever since the events of the previous episode, Amy has been questioning if she's really helping others heal or just avoiding her own pain. Meanwhile, Jack Bartlett watches from the porch, his old cowboy hat tilted low as he sips his morning coffee. He knows Amy better than anyone. He can see that something is bothering her. But Jack's the kind of man who believes in giving space until the moment he knows he has to step in. Their silent bond speaks volumes. Even without a word exchanged, inside the house, Lou is on a phone call, juggling her duties as mayor and mother. She's exhausted, torn between the responsibilities of public life and her family's endless demands. There's a pile of paperwork on the table, a cold cup of coffee beside it, the image of someone doing everything for everyone but herself. Her conversation reveals that the town is facing pressure over a new development project that might threaten the ranch's peaceful surroundings. It's classic Heartland, the personal and the political colliding in one emotional storm. Then comes a subtle shift. A new client arrives at the ranch, a young girl named Riley and her troubled horse, Comet. Riley's energy is distant, closed off. Amy greets her with warmth, but there's hesitation in Riley's eyes. As Amy begins to observe the horse, she notices signs of fear and mistrust, not from neglect, but from emotional trauma. This mirrors Amy's own state of mind, making this case more personal than she expected. Jack senses it too. Later, when Amy opens up a little, she admits that working with Comet reminds her of her own struggle after Ty's death, learning to trust again. It's a quiet, tender moment between granddaughter and grandfather, filled with wisdom and understanding. Jack reminds her, healing's not about forgetting. It's about finding peace while remembering. It's a line that sums up the heart of this episode, the ongoing process of moving forward without letting go of what once mattered deeply. As the day unfolds, subtle tensions ripple through Heartland. Lou gets unexpected news that could change the ranch's future, and Amy's connection with Comet begins to reveal deeper emotional scars in both the horse and its owner. Everything is building up slowly, like the calm before a storm. By the end of this section, the episode sets up its emotional foundation, every storyline tied to a single question: how do you heal when your heart still remembers the pain? The tone is soft, reflective, but full of anticipation. Each character stands at a crossroads, unaware that by the end of this episode, life at Heartland will shift once again, quietly but powerfully. The day at Heartland begins like any other, the wide Alberta sky stretched out, the hum of life steady and calm, but under that stillness, emotions are ready to break loose. Episode 3 wastes no time pulling us into the quiet storm brewing between the characters. Every smile feels a little forced, every silence lasts a second too long. This isn't just another day on the ranch, it's the day old wounds start to ache again. Amy throws herself into her work with Comet, the troubled horse brought to her care. The animal's fear is obvious, every sound makes him flinch. Every approach sends him stepping back. Amy speaks softly, her hands steady, but inside she's trembling too. It's not just about fixing Comet. It's about proving to herself that she can still help something broken. As she moves closer, the horse jerks away, nearly knocking over a nearby bucket. Amy steps back, breathes, and whispers, "It's okay. I know what it feels like to be scared." It's a line spoken to Comet but also to herself. Meanwhile, Lou's storyline takes a different kind of emotional turn. The town meeting scene captures her in her element, confident, polished, the face of leadership. But the cracks are showing. A council member challenges her decision about the new business development near the ranch. Lou fights back with facts and passion, but it's clear her heart isn't fully in it. She's distracted, her mind keeps drifting to her family, to Amy, to the feeling that she's losing touch with what matters most. By the time the meeting ends, Lou's smile fades. She's not sure who she's trying to please anymore, the town or herself. Back at the ranch, Jack and Tim share a rare moment of reflection. Tim, never one to hold back, complains about how the younger generation overthinks everything. Jack just gives him that look, the one that says he's too old to argue but too wise to ignore the truth. Their talk shifts from ranch work to life, to mistakes they can't undo. Beneath the gruff banter, there's guilt and regret. Tim admits, almost in a whisper, that he wishes he'd done things differently, especially when it came to his family. It's one of those rare, vulnerable Heartland moments that remind us why these characters feel like home. The middle of the episode ties everything together. Amy continues her sessions with Comet and Riley. Slowly, the horse begins to trust her, responding to gentle cues and patient energy. But Amy notices something deeper. Riley flinches every time someone raises their voice. The horse isn't the only one who's afraid. Amy realizes that the trauma runs between them both, a reflection of hurt passed from human to animal. It's subtle storytelling, no big speech, no flashback, just eyes meeting in a shared silence that says everything. As night falls, the camera lingers on Amy standing by the corral, watching the stars. Her face softens. Maybe, just maybe, she's starting to see the light again. But before she can find peace, Lou arrives with the bad news. The land near Heartland might be sold for development, something that could threaten everything they've built. The episode's calm turns tense. The sound of the wind picks up. The sky darkens, not just outside, but inside each character. Amy looks out over the land. The horse is restless in the distance. Lou's voice breaks as she says, "We can't lose Heartland," and Amy, steady but shaken, replies, "We won't, not again." That's the moment when the audience feels the shift. This isn't just about land or horses. It's about holding on to what makes Heartland. Heartland, love, family, and the strength to keep believing. Even when the world starts to change around you, sometimes a moment of truth doesn't arrive with thunder, it comes in silence. In the still breath before someone finally says what they've been holding inside. That's exactly where Heartland Season 19 Episode 3 takes us. Everything that's been building, Amy's quiet grief, Lou's mounting pressure, and Jack's growing worry collides in one unforgettable turning point that feels both heartbreaking and healing. The storm rolls in, both literally and emotionally. As dark clouds sweep over the ranch, Amy is working with Comet again, this time alone. The horse has begun to trust her, but there's still hesitation, just like Amy herself. She speaks softly, guiding Comet in circles, her voice calm even as the wind starts to howl. The tension isn't just in the weather, it's in Amy's heart. You can almost feel the weight of Ty's memory pressing on her, the fear that she'll never fully move on. Then, in a single powerful moment, Comet rears, panicked by the sound of thunder. Amy steps forward instead of backing away. She whispers, "I'm not leaving you." Slowly, the horse calms. It's more than a training scene, it's a metaphor for Amy herself, choosing to face her pain instead of running from it. Inside, Lou and Jack argue over the land development issue. Lou wants to fight it through legal means, while Jack insists they should protect the ranch with heart, not politics. Their voices rise, years of unspoken frustration spilling out. Lou shouts that she's tired of carrying everyone's burdens, that she can't keep pretending she's strong all the time. It's raw, messy, and painfully real. Jack, normally steady and wise, finally breaks too. "We're all fighting for this place, Lou. But we can't save Heartland if we lose ourselves doing it." The room falls silent. The only sound is the rain beginning to pound against the windows. Meanwhile, Riley's story reaches its breaking point too. Amy finds her crying in the barn, clutching Comet's halter. Through trembling words, Riley admits that her father left her, that the horse was the only thing she had left. Suddenly, Amy isn't just a trainer anymore. She's a reflection of someone who understands that kind of loss. She kneels beside Riley and says, "Pain doesn't mean we're weak. It means we cared enough to hurt." That line becomes the emotional heartbeat of the entire episode. The thunder fades, and the ranch glows under soft evening light. After the storm, Jack joins Amy outside, standing beside her in silence. He doesn't need to say anything. His presence is enough. Amy looks at Comet, now calm and trusting again, and you can see it a small, quiet smile. The first sign of peace she's shown in a long time, and just when it feels like things might finally settle, the episode delivers its final emotional jolt. Lou receives a call. Her face goes pale. The land near Heartland has been approved for sale. Everything they feared might happen just did, but Amy doesn't panic. She looks at Lou and says, "Then we'll fight together." The family stands at the edge of another challenge, uncertain, scared, but united. It's not a loud ending. It's a steady one. One that tells viewers this family may bend, but they'll never break. That's the magic of Heartland. It doesn't need explosions or cliffhangers to hit hard. Its power lies in the quiet strength of people who keep showing up for each other even when the world starts to crumble, when the rain finally stops. Heartland Season 19 Episode 3 leaves us with a silence that feels heavy but not empty. It's the kind of silence that follows a storm. The moment when everything is still, and you realize nothing will ever be quite the same again. The ending doesn't shout its message. It whispers it in the way the light hits the ranch, in the way Amy breathes a little easier, and in the way every character quietly begins to heal. The final scenes are crafted like poetry. Amy stands by the corral, watching Comet move freely for the first time. There's no fear in the horse's eyes, now only trust. It's a subtle reflection of Amy's own journey throughout the episode. She's been trying to fix everyone else, hoping that in doing so, she might fix herself. But what this ending shows is something deeper. Healing isn't about control, it's about letting go. As Amy opens the gate and lets Comet run, it's symbolic not just for the horse, but for her letting go of the pain she's carried since Ty's passing. The camera lingers on her face, a mix of sadness and relief, and for the first time in a long while, she looks free. Meanwhile, Lou's storyline closes on a quieter but equally powerful note. After learning the land has been approved for sale, she returns home defeated. But in the kitchen, she finds Jack fixing an old photograph that had fallen from the wall, a picture of Marianne, their anchor, the heart of Heartland. Jack tells her softly, "Every generation fights for this place in their own way. Now it's your turn." Lou doesn't say much, but her expression changes. She realizes that protecting Heartland isn't just about saving land, it's about preserving love, history, and hope. The emotional crescendo comes when the family gathers for dinner. It's simple, warm, and real, a table filled with food, laughter breaking through the leftover tension. It's a reminder that no matter what happens outside, this table will always be their foundation. Amy looks at her family, and you can see her heart settling. There's still uncertainty ahead, but the flicker of hope is back. Then comes one of the most beautifully understated moments of the episode. Amy walks outside again, the night calm, the sky painted with fading light. She looks up at the stars and whispers, "You'd be proud, Ty." It's short, but it hits deep. She doesn't cry this time, she smiles. That's how you know she's starting to move forward, carrying his memory not as a wound, but as a part of her strength. The final shot fades out with Comet running across the open field, free under the moonlight. The music swells softly, that familiar Heartland theme that always tugs at the heart. The camera pans out to show the ranch bathed in silver light, peaceful again. It's not a dramatic ending. It's a real one. Because Heartland has never been about perfection, it's about resilience, family, and the quiet bravery it takes to begin again. The symbolism here is powerful. Every thread in this episode, Amy's trust, Lou's leadership, Jack's wisdom, Riley's healing, ties back to one simple truth. You can't protect what you love by holding it too tightly. You protect it by believing in it, even when it changes. The storm didn't destroy Heartland, it reminded them why it's worth fighting for. Episode 3 closes with hope, but also with an unspoken promise that the challenges aren't over. The land dispute will test them. The emotional scars will resurface. But after this episode, one thing is clear: they're ready. United, grounded, and stronger than before. It's a quiet masterpiece of storytelling, the kind that doesn't need grand gestures to leave a mark. Just a ranch, a family, a horse, and a sky full of second chances. Sometimes, Heartland doesn't need to say much to make you feel everything. The ending of episode 3 leaves a quiet ache, that mix of sadness and comfort you get after watching a family go through something real, something that mirrors life itself. This isn't a show about heroes and villains. It's about people doing their best to hold their world together when it feels like it's falling apart. And this episode, more than most, reminds us why Heartland still hits home after 19 seasons, because it understands the weight of ordinary love. When Amy opens that gate and lets Comet run free, it's not just about a horse finally trusting again, it's about Amy learning to stop holding onto pain like it's the only thing keeping her connected to her past. For years, she's carried Ty's memory like a wound, afraid that if she started to heal, she might lose him all over again. But in that final moment, we see the truth: healing doesn't erase love, it deepens it. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means you've learned to live again. That's the unspoken lesson Heartland delivers with quiet grace. Lou's transformation is just as powerful, even if it plays out in smaller gestures. Her leadership has always been about control, planning, fixing, proving. But this episode pushes her to realize that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about faith. The scene where she looks at the photo of Marion isn't just nostalgia, it's Lou remembering why her mother fought for this land in the first place. Not for politics or profit, but for family, for legacy, for home. That's the torch Lou now carries, whether she's ready or not. Jack, as always, is the emotional compass of Heartland. He doesn't give speeches, he gives truth in a few perfectly chosen words. His wisdom anchors everyone, reminding them that love doesn't always look like comfort. Sometimes it looks like standing firm when everyone else wants to give up. His talk with Amy, though simple, carries a message that stretches across generations. We heal by remembering, not by reliving. Those are the kinds of lines that stick with you long after the credits roll. And then there's Riley, the quiet, broken reflection of Amy's younger self. Her bond with Comet and Amy feels small in the grand story, but it's what ties the episode together. Through helping Riley, Amy rediscovers the part of herself she thought was lost. It's almost poetic, two souls learning to trust again through the same gentle creature. That's the magic of Heartland. The way it takes pain and turns it into connection. On a deeper level, episode 3 is about how grief and growth can coexist. Every character is learning to rebuild, not by escaping the past, but by walking through it with courage. The storm that passes over the ranch isn't just weather. It's a metaphor for emotional renewal. It strips everything bare: the fears, the doubts, the pain, and leaves behind a chance to start again. The direction and writing of this episode are beautifully balanced. There's no rush, no filler. Every frame breathes, every pause feels intentional. It's storytelling that trusts the audience to feel instead of being told what to feel. The cinematography, wide shots of the valley after the rain, the glow of sunset on Amy's face, the soft hum of the ranch at dusk all serve to remind us that peace isn't loud. It's found in stillness, in resilience, in family. As the credits roll, there's an aftertaste of hope, not the easy kind, but the errant kind. The kind that comes after nights of uncertainty and mornings where you still choose to get up and keep going. That's the Heartland way. It's never been about endings. It's always been about beginnings that come disguised as heartbreak. Some stories end quietly, not with fireworks, but with a feeling that stays long after the screen fades to black. Heartland Season 19 Episode 3 is one of those stories. It doesn't try to shock you. It tries to reach you. Beneath every scene, every tear, and every small smile, there's a heartbeat, the heartbeat of a family that keeps going, no matter how much life changes around them. What makes this episode unforgettable isn't a twist or a cliffhanger. It's the emotion that seeps through every frame. It's Amy standing in the rain, choosing to face her fear instead of hiding from it. It's Lou realizing that her strength doesn't come from power or plans, but from love. It's Jack reminding us that wisdom doesn't come from age, it comes from the courage to keep showing up. These moments aren't loud, but they speak louder than any dramatic ending could. As viewers, we've grown up with these characters. We've seen them love, lose, rebuild, and repeat. That's why this episode hits so deeply. It mirrors our own lives. We all have a Heartland somewhere inside us, a place, a person, or a memory we fight to protect. Watching Amy let Comet run free isn't just about the horse. It's about the human truth that freedom often begins where fear ends. The brilliance of this episode lies in its simplicity. There's no forced dialogue, no rushed emotion. Every pause feels intentional, as if the story is giving us space to breathe, to reflect. You can almost smell the wet earth after the storm, feel the weight of the quiet night, and hear the distant sound of hooves fading into the hills. That's how you know Heartland is doing what it does best, making the ordinary feel sacred. And yet, the ending doesn't feel final. It feels like a promise that there's still more to come. The land dispute isn't over. The wounds aren't fully healed, but the light is back. The family is united. And that's the real victory. Heartland isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. About standing in the middle of chaos and saying, "We'll figure it out together." In the end, Episode 3 isn't just a chapter, it's a reflection of the entire Heartland spirit. It reminds us that life will always throw storms our way, but home isn't a place that gets washed away. It's the people who stay, the love that rebuilds, and the quiet courage to start again. As the screen fades, you're left with that familiar warmth, a gentle ache in your chest that says, "This is why we keep watching." Because every episode doesn't just tell a story, it heals a little piece of us too. So, as we wait for episode 4, one thing's clear: Heartland is far from slowing down. It's still growing, still evolving, still reminding us that even the deepest scars can turn into strength. And maybe that's what makes Heartland timeless. It's not about the drama of life. It's about the grace of living it, because here, under the open sky and over these endless fields, every ending is just another beginning.